50 years ago, the villains formed an alliance and started a brutal war that led to the death of most of the heroes. In the end, the villains won the war, and the United States was divided among the strongest survivors, like the Red Skull, the Hulk Gang, Magneto, and even Dr. Doom. Nobody knows what happened to Wolverine the day the heroes fell. He abandoned the name Wolverine, even married and had 2 kids, vowing never to use violence again. But life was hard in the newly formed United States. California was run by the Hulk Gang, descendants of Bruce Banner, who demanded money from Logan to keep his farm. They gave Logan a warning and 1 month to pay his rent, or else they would return to kill his family. Hawkeye, who was now blind, visited Logan and offered him $500 to help deliver a cargo from California to Washington, D.C., now called New Babylon and ruled by the Red Skull. They both start the long journey in the Spider-Mobile, arriving in San Francisco at nighttime. The city was abandoned and infested with moloids, sinister creatures that live underground. They were attacked by several Ghost Riders, but Hawkeye shot all of them using his deadly arrows, while Logan stood and watched. Logan was a peaceful man now, after all. The next day, they arrive in Hammer Falls, Nevada, the place where Thor's hammer rested since he was killed by the villains. Hawkeye finds out that his daughter Ashley, also the granddaughter of Spider-Man, was kidnapped by the Kingpin. Kingpin killed Magneto and took over his domain, keeping Ashley prisoner in Salt Lake City. They used the spider buggy to break into the building where Ashley was kept and free her. However, she didn't want to be rescued. She came to Salt Lake City to kill the Kingpin and used this opportunity to slash his throat. She wanted to take over his domain and attempted to kill her own father, but Logan saves him. She sends everyone after them, and the chase leads them outside the city, when a big earthquake sends everyone crashing down into the ground. When Logan wakes up, he finds Hawkeye trapped under the car. The cave was filled with moloids, and everyone who was chasing them was already dead and half-eaten. They use the spider buggy to climb up the wall and escape the cave. Eventually, they stop for some drinks inside a bar in the desert, and Logan finally tells Clint what happened the day the heroes died. 50 years ago, him and Jubilee were inside the X-Mansion when they received many distress calls simultaneously from the Avengers, S.H.I.E.L.D., the Fantastic Four, and even Wakanda. Wolverine told Jubilee to take the kids and evacuate, but it was too late. Many villains attacked them out of nowhere, and Logan tried to hold them off while everyone else escaped. He was alone and wondered what happened to Cyclops, Storm, and the rest of the X-Men. Sadly, he would soon find out. After he killed all of the villains, Wolverine came to a gruesome realization. The villains were in fact the entire X-Men: Jean Grey, Cyclops, Storm, Beast, and he killed all of them. Mysterio, the master of illusions, played a trick on Wolverine, making him believe his friends were his enemies. They even smelled like them. Logan was in shock and left the mansion covered in blood. He wanted to kill himself, but even the weight of a train wasn't enough to end his life. He would have to live with the memory of killing his friends forever. That day he swore never to use his claws again and tried to live a peaceful life. Eventually, Logan and Clint arrive in New Babylon and meet with the person they were supposed to deliver the package. 99 vials of super soldier serum, enough to build an army of superheroes and form a rebel alliance against the villains. However, the meeting was a trap. They delivered the package to a man working for the Red Skull, who shoots Logan and kills Hawkeye. He then takes their bodies and the packages, delivering them to the Red Skull, who was the new president of the United States living in the White House. The Red Skull was admiring his collection of artifacts collected from the heroes he killed in the past, and is pleased to see Hawkeye dead. However, there is a problem with the second body whose wounds are healing rapidly. Logan regains consciousness, gets up and kills the guards, but Red Skull throws him against the wall. In a desperate act, Logan grabs Captain America's discarded shield and lands powerful hits against Red Skull, eventually knocking him down. He then uses the shield to strike his neck and decapitate the tyrannical leader. Fortunately for him, the room was filled with artifacts from long-forgotten heroes, and he grabbed Iron Man's suit, blasting his way out of the White House and escaping. He flies as fast as possible back to California, with a suitcase filled with money to pay his debt to the Hulk Gang. He arrives in time, but he was met with a gruesome sight. The Hulk Gang already visited his home demanding the money, and massacred his wife and both of his children. For the first time in 50 years, Logan popped his claws and called himself Wolverine again. He tracked down every member of the Hulk Gang and chopped their bodies into tiny pieces, one by one. Revenge was the only thing on his mind, and nothing could stand in his way. He finally arrives at Banner's lair, where Banner himself was hiding. He built his degenerate family by breeding with his first cousin She-Hulk, and killed Logan's family because he was bored. It had been many years since he had a good fight, and wanted to send a message to people who didn't pay their rent. Wolverine fought with everything he had, slashing Banner's flesh and pushing him to the limits, eventually transforming into Hulk. The Hulk was immensely more powerful though, and he ate Wolverine alive. 12 hours later, Banner's grandson returns to the cave and finds everyone dead. Banner was resting on the ground with a full belly, but he didn't look so good. It must have been someone he ate. Suddenly, Wolverine burst out of his body, slashing Hulk's flesh using his claws and killing the deranged creature. He finally had his revenge, but felt pity for one of Banner's children. After he buried his family and said his goodbyes, Logan took the baby in his backpack and left that place forever.